Case in point, this thing is going viral. Oh, why are you coming back home for? Are you crazy? People spend their entire lives around the world to save money to end up right here.
I'm Peter Bailey, and after our intimate screening on St. Croix, we headed to Caribbean Cinemas on St. Thomas, where a crowd of VI leaders and tastemakers once again savored my special brew, while discussing the inspiration derived from Paradise Discovery, the unbreakable Virgin Islands 2.0.
Of nightcap. How can we collectively, especially now with the thing in the news about people saying come back, trying it twice, it's hard, right? How do we help each other move our communities forward using social platforms and the grassroots so that the folks who are here on the ground have more of a say, because we can talk and not live here, but it really is going to be up to people on the ground to bear the brunt of whatever is coming.
I think a big theme in this film is a constant idealism and a constant optimism. I think I'll just be blunt. For too long, pessimism and cynicism has reigned throughout our culture and killed our spirit. So people talk about why you coming home. Well, stay where you at. LA was a desert. New York City was a wasteland on the water. We have this concept that somehow in the Virgin Islands that our homes are unique to us. I don't understand where that comes from. I will say this. As a creator, as an artist, I've talked to a lot of young creators. But Peter, ain't nobody supporting me, nobody supporting me. No one is supposed to support you. Until your work adds value to someone beyond your ego and your own self-gratification, we are not supposed to support you. The goal of life is to come into life and add as much as, try to add and give it more than you take. And that keeps the cycle of life going. So in this conversation, I'm embarrassed a little bit about the conversation. When I see our own people just trashing our home. And if you see this narrative, there are people who come here and they're like, oh my God, this is the best place on the planet. So why do others come in and have that belief, but for some reason we just keep the... And I said something in the narrative. There is nowhere under the US flag where people of color have this much self-autonomy. We have senators. You're not even, 50? I mean, you have young senators. They look like us. So this concept, it's us. We have this, it's in our minds. Like, we need a revolution of thought and spirit in these hours.
Everyone in this room has an opportunity to help make that change. Whether it's within your household, your neighborhood, your job, the community, on the street. Yes, our children are different. Lord knows, as an educator, I know they're different. But that should not stop you from putting your hand out and helping to guide.
The other day, my grandson asked me, Mommy, I don't remember how to cook so-and-so. Can you tell me how to cook so-and-so and show me the shopping list? And I did that. When I am with my children, my two sons know who they are. The sense of direction comes from us. Regardless of what they've done, good, bad, or indifferent, you show them love, our Caribbean love. There's nothing like our love.
A beautiful hour and a half of my life sitting here and watching what you've done. I want to say, as a people, we have forgotten how to do it, is to have conversations with our children.
So my question to you, Peter, tonight is, what are the emotions or the inspiration that you aim to evoke in the multi-generations, as you've shared, of Virgin Islanders? For me, being born and raised here, as you can tell, I don't really have the dialect that many of the Virgin Islanders may deem is important, which I believe in our rich cultural heritage. But one thing that I strongly believe, especially with the younger generations, me having many younger siblings, younger employees at work, they're a lot focused on how they feel. And I feel with this documentary, you evoke those emotions in me, because you and I are in the same generation per se. But what are your plans? What's your 2040 in terms of how you plan to reach them? How you plan to, I guess, allow them to feel that they have that support, that empowerment, that system for their innovation, which is going to guide us to...
It's a good question. It's a good question. It's interesting. A lot of these kids inbox me like every day, all day. The difference with the young generation, they don't ask for permission. There is no more gatekeeping. A child can have his talent, put a song on the internet, and it goes great glory. Now there's an issue there, right? Because in life there's a process. And there's still steps you can't skip. There's a theme I said in the film. Wisdom, you cannot just get wisdom. That comes with experience. You get knowledge. You can understand the truth. So I think for us to move forward as a people, one, just be blunt. There are elders who need to learn how to groom and create pathways. Sometimes we don't have to pull you off the seat.
We can't always shove the blame on somebody else. I'm talking about conversation. I'm not just talking about direction, not giving them directives, right, and correction. Have conversation, sit down, and even the issues that are on this screen right now, we can have that with our young children.
I can't teach her things in my life that I can't teach. I just go through. But then the elders have to be humble enough to stop being so in love with legacy and understand things have changed and it's a new order of doing things. So I think we're in the greatest intergenerational rift in the world. My mother is there, right? My mother grew up in an era in a Waddle House in that book. The internet, all this stuff is even dissolved. Mommy, can you stand? My mother actually was my inspiration, her. From all these in here, no one lives forever. Well, how do you live forever? The energy you leave there. So I'm trying to leave as much good energy as I can, right? Because that's what we have to do. So why I did this? Because to immortalize the way I want us to be seen. Not the way other people see us. Not the way some guy on the Travel Channel has like a cartoon, right? So I think a lot of the issues we face with young men, the violence and whatnot, we're territory. When you're territory, you don't own your destiny. Every human being, even if it's this small little chair, we own it. What do we own here? Can't even vote. So it's about creating this, to create this discourse. I don't have the answers, but I ask questions to stir someone can have the answers.
I think the movie was very informative. Okay, I covered a lot of spectrums, and I think it represented or it gave a lot of conscious people here in the Virgin Islands the opportunity to express themselves on multiple issues. I think that it was very creative, and whoever did the storyline, they need to be commended, which I think is Peter Bailey. So he has to be commended for his contributions.
First thing I want to say, congratulations, Mara. I please give it to being a family man, I know this man, we went to school together, right? And we've been working hard for something like this. My mother and my dad, right here, raised 12 children on this island. And the only reason that we left this island, Peter, you know why? Hurricanes. Yeah. The only reason, right? But we always went and we learned, and then we came back and we used it here. So when he said what he said about coming back home, why are you coming back home? Because we love our island. And we want to be the ambassador of our island. What I want to know is, what's next, Peter?
Yeah. We're actually working on part 3 to this film. But I'll say this, what's so important to me, we're in our local cinema watching us.
Yes.
That's what matters to me the most. That's what matters to me the most, right? God just gave you a mission in my little space to do what God gave you to do. And I just love the fact that we're here watching us on the screen. You know, and that's how we start to own who we are. And once we start to own who we are, we can start to define who we are. And then we can have a certain sense of self-worth and self-value. So just keep owning our stories, my brother. Keep owning our stories. Yes, sir.
Teach them the history. Marcus Garvey from Jamaica said it correctly. If people without knowledge of the past history and culture, you're like a tree without roots. And you know what happened with a tree without roots. You can't wait till storm to bring us together. No, that gotta be sustained throughout the year. Whether there's storm or no storm. This is what happened in the past. Yeah. This is what we got to do to move forward. Okay? So that's my contribution in some. But God flame and let's give my hand again.
Just a quick history. Charlotte Morley's Harbor was the most profitable harbor in the Western Hemisphere at one time, right? In the world, right? At one time. This is who we are. And once again, I see in the film, how did that change into rum punch and dancing around half naked? But anyhow.
Good night, everybody. Ridley Hart Jr. right? First of all, great film. He asked one of my questions, but I do have a first question. How was working with XP1, someone who is not from the Virgin Islands, help shape these films for yourself?
One of my filmmakers?
Sebastian Pretty. XP1. I know him very personally. It's a frat brother of mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Small world. It's interesting. A picture can't see itself within a frame. So sometimes having an unbiased lens. Like when I tour with this film, I like going to places. I was in Indiana, South Bend, screening this film. So these people are, oh man, they haven't even met somebody from the Caribbean. But I like seeing what other people think because it gives you a totally honest, neutral concept. Case in point, this thing is going viral. Oh, why are you coming back home for? Are you crazy? People spend their entire lives around the world to save money to end up right here. And there's people on the end that talking about my home like it's some kind of, because we lack a certain collective mentality. Once again, so it didn't work for you, so the hell with everything? No. Try to latch on to somebody and support them and you'll find your way. So working with Sebastian was important because he was neutral to this, right? And he's of Caribbean descent. So what I found very powerful about this film was, because of our territorial status, the Caribbean is yearning for us to be one of them. Like when I go to other countries, Grenada, Trinidad, they're like, well, we always think you guys are Caribbean, but you guys think you're Americans. I don't get it. So this film really, for me, bridged the gap with other Caribbean nations. So having Sebastian as a collective of other Caribbean people on the project, it expanded the vision, if that makes sense.
When I came here, I knew that was the place that I wanted to have my children and to raise my children. So I did. And I'm saying that because, you know, what you said, Lauren, it's heartbreaking when you, as parents, you send your children to school. It doesn't matter if you send them to private school or public school, they really not learning about our culture here.
I think it's important as someone who grew up in the Virgin Islands, born and raised, as well as someone who have a history within our public education system, to add to the conversation. So I grew up here very proud to be a Virgin Islander. We must all walk away here knowing that it starts in the home. When we as a people, as individuals, elected leaders and alike, put family first, then we start to build our community.
You know, as I listen to the conversation tonight, and of course, I want to say God bless you for having the wisdom and the vision to really have this conversation for people in the Virgin Islands. I'll tell you what, so I served as a senator, and we have to get to a place. I also served in the government for a long time, but we have to get to a place where we tell our people the truth. And when I say that, what I mean by that is, in listening to the conversation about Virgin Islanders coming back home, there's a lot of discussion and discourse around it. And as you listen to the discourse, folks are talking about healthcare, they're talking about our roads, they're talking about public safety, but they're not the housing crisis, but they're not talking about our responsibility collectively as Virgin Islanders. As I listen to it, you're hearing all of that energy, but none of us in the conversation are taking responsibility for why we're where we are as a community and not as individuals. So again, it's about the village. I am originally from Hospital Ground, Rongleyfield, and it was a village. It was a village, and we have to bring back that village mentality. What we're doing now, even from the way we drive in this community, we don't even give people a break. We don't even give people a break. And it's something that I'm very intentional about it, and I notice it. People just running out the road. These are the things that we have to think about as Virgin Islanders, and we have to tell our people, hey, you know, that thing that you did, that wasn't right, and this is why. We shouldn't wait only until Peter Goodman brings this conversation in his filmmaking, but we need to be intentional about having these conversations in our individual communities. And I rest.
And I want to point out another thing. Very important. Very important.